Raising smart children is our parenting tip today. It is every parent's dream to know the ways to raise a smart kid. As a parent, your wish is for your children to perform well in academics, learn good communication skills, find a job, and earn a good salary. In order to make them smart, let them feel bored. Boredom can do wonders and spark your children's creativity.
Welcome to another edition of the Father's Day Out. Today, I present to you a very interesting character.
Born in Tema, Ghana, into the Adanse royal family, he honed his skills in customer service, hospitality, and entertainment in his parents' Jatu Krom Hotel and Restaurant, Big Daddy's Palace nightclub, and music promotion business before joining the national broadcaster GBC at age 19. King Kwesi J. Dakwa is the managing director of the Finest Media, Brands and Culture Limited, Heritage Apparel, and founder of the J. Dakwa Foundation for Culture and Communication, a not-for-profit organization for training and mentorship in media arts, culture and tourism, brand building, etiquette, and public communication. He has been at the forefront of promoting local and international brands and Ghana's arts, culture and tourism for over 3 decades, whether creating and placing brand campaigns as advertising and promotions. Dakwa's brand is best known for 3 E's: excellence, eloquence, and elegance.
His royal blackness, King KKD, the finest, the freshest. He's a very amazing character, and he's father to Kweku Dakwa Chei Dakwa and Ohima Asokwa Chei Dakwa. Today's recording is at the Golden Tulip Hotel. Hello, Chief.
Hi, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm great. Really nice meeting you.
You're even more handsome in real life than in your photos.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Nice meeting you.
And I've seen your watches. Great job you're doing.
Thank you. I'm trying.
No. You're more than trying. You've arrived.
Thank you so much. So today, let me jump right into the questions. Why 2 children? Did you intentionally plan on having a small family, or do you plan on having more children?
Children are a gift from God. Some people stay in a marriage for 45 years and they don't have any, so they choose to adopt. Some stay in for only 3 years and are blessed with quintuplets. And some don't marry at all, but have children by many different fathers. And some marry, but have only one by a father that is actually not the one they married. So, whatever you get, you thank God for it. But I never wanted to have a big family because I wanted to have enough to ensure that I can provide for those that I make with my wife. And I had a rule that if you're not my wife, don't come to me with children. Because, there's different kinds of sex. There's the one for procreation, which is the lawful one in the Bible. And then there's the one for recreation. And then there's the one for subjugation. Sometimes people just want to have sex with you to put you down when you're biasa. But, I think these days there's too much sex for recreation as opposed to for procreation. And that's why there's all these morning after pill and condom and all that. I mean, why are you going to have your shower wearing a raincoat? If you're going to have sex, have sex. And if you're going to have sex, be prepared to have children. And that's why if you want to have sex, you might as well have it with somebody with whom you are willing to have children. If not, there should be a clear agreement that no children.
My mind is blown. That was a very deep insight. How is your week usually like? I mean, you seem a very busy person. Take us through a week.
I try to stay busy. I wake up at 4. I wake up at 4 to write, then I go back to sleep. But on Wednesdays, when I wake up at 4, I have to get ready to leave home at 5, to get to GBC before 6:15, to go on air at 7, finish at 8:30, go for my breakfast in one of the 5-star hotels, and then from there continue to work. But these days, on Wednesdays, also I have a lecture. Because I'm taking on further studies. And then Monday to Friday is wake up at 4, write, then go back to sleep, finish in the morning, get dressed, look nice, go to the office or work from home. And my work is essentially writing my books, working on brand campaigns for my clients because we work for Golden Tree brand. We also work for the Nayaka Freak brand,
Great.
work for the Ghana International Bank brand in England,
Great.
and work for a few smaller brands in the US, in Ghana, and in the UK. And then I have to also go to my tailors because we make clothing for Heritage Apparel, and then go to my cobblers and shoemakers because we make royal slippers for the Heritage brand. So that's my day.
That's really event-filled, packed.
Yeah, but I had to find a
Packed
variety
series,
so I don't get bored.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
You know, if you like what you do, work does not feel like work. If you hate what you do, even play feels like work. So I've had this thing from childhood that my work must always feel like work like play. So when I'm talking to a client, when I'm talking to my staff, when I'm talking to my contractors, when I'm talking to my suppliers, it's all about let's find a way to make this happy.
I would like to know, do you have a particular fond memory with your dad? What kind of person was your dad?
Oh, my dad, too many fond memories. On Saturday mornings, we would drive to the national lotteries because in addition to having a record store, in addition to owning a hotel, in addition to my mother owning a restaurant, in addition to him owning farms, he also was a lotto agent. So he had these kiosks, and every Saturday he would go and check his stocks. And I'd go with him. I'd wear my long sleeve shirt and my cufflinks, shirts tucked in, polished shoes.
Dapper.
And he would also be nicely dressed with his hat tilted to the side. And I'd sit with him in his 504 Peugeot. He has two of the 504s, later on the Mercedes. And he would make me read every signboard we saw on the road. And if I got the pronunciation wrong, he would correct me. And then after I'd read it and we would go on, he would say the word and he would have me spell the word. And I just loved those times. And if I got it all correct, Lomnava Banku.
A treat for you.
Yeah, we went to Lomnava for Banku, or we went to my shop for apples because I loved apples as a boy. Sometimes we got strawberries too. I loved strawberries as a boy.
That's great. So really, how was your relationship with him, and how did that shape your perception of fatherhood?
Yes, I think my relationship with my dad is he's my best friend.
Oh, great.
He still is my best friend.
Great.
He's also my disciplinarian. But my dad, you know, will spank you for doing wrong, you know, and he would have a word with you before he spanked you, and then he would have a word with you after you finished crying, you know, so he made you understand why he spanked you. And what I loved most about my dad was that he wasn't just a great provider, he hugged his children.
Oh.
You know, we would run to my dad and we would jump and he would catch us mid-air and hug us and turn us around and throw you in the air and catch you and hug you. You know, my mom kisses, my dad hugs.
That's
and
beautiful.
I guess I took both what my mom does and what my dad does, and I shared these moments with my children.
So growing up, I mean, what were your ambitions? The things you wanted to achieve growing up, have those ambitions been met? Did you end up doing what you aspired to do when you were
I wanted to be a
growing up?
master communicator. There was no doubt about that.
Okay.
It wasn't clear exactly what I was going to do in communications per se, because growing up, journalism was not a big deal in Ghana. Because what you saw was people constantly saying the chairman of the PNDC or the president of the republic or the president or the chairman of the NRC. That was news. So it wasn't journalism per se. But I'd gone to the library and I'd read about film producers and television producers, especially television producers. And I'd read about emissaries and ambassadors who use language to communicate with others around the world to generate friendship, goodwill, and business for their nations. That's what I was interested in. So there was no doubt at all that I was going to do something that was media, brands, and communications related. And that's where I ended up. Because when I finished Presec, I wanted to go to Legon to go and study communications. But Legon didn't have a degree in communications. They had a postgraduate diploma.
Okay.
So you had to either go to NAFTI or School of Journalism. And School of Journalism, you had to choose between public relations and advertising or journalism. And NAFTI, you had to go straight for television. So I spoke with my dad about it. And he says he thinks I'm going to get more mileage with journalism, because with journalism I can still do my public relations and advertising, and I can still write for movies. So I went and studied journalism. And then from there I moved to the UK eventually to go and do my master's in film and television production. I'm presently studying for my PhD in media and culture, you know, in a school of management, because I want to situate media and culture in the management discipline. And the work I did as a boy from age 12, I was producing live shows, live entertainment, matinees for young people. By 15, I was producing commercials for the shows I was promoting. By 17, I was doing voice-over documentaries for GAFCO, Ghana Foods, or Tema Food Complex Corporation. That's what it used to be called before that. By 19, I was employed at GBC as a guest artist. By 20, I was employed full-time at the GBC whilst studying at the School of Journalism. And by 26, I was employed at ABC. ABC, a better choice for sure. I actually coined the slogan. It's Achimota Brewery Company. It was the biggest, the brewery with the biggest capacity in all of West Africa at the time.
Wow.
And I rose to become the advertising and promotions manager. Then by 31, I was the general manager of the biggest record company in Ghana, Megastar Limited, where I was managing George Darko, Nana Tufo, Abranti Amachidede, Pat Thomas, Tego Sisters, Nanansia PSA, the Megastar Band, Jewel Aka, and many more. And then I had a lovely wife. We had 2 children, but she wanted to go and live in England.
Okay.
And because she had finished university and getting a job wasn't coming as quickly as she wanted it, so she wanted to go to England. So there's somebody I really loved.
Oh.
And if she was going to go to England, she had to go and be well, not struggle. So got her ready and sent her off with a maidservant. So she was there with the maidservant and the kids. And after 2 years of she being there and me seeing things were not going as she wanted, I said, look, come back home. She didn't want to. And this is my wife, I love her. There were times when I'd buy a ticket just to go over for the weekend to make love and come back to Ghana. I was young and I could afford it, so why not? And eventually I kept saying that she wouldn't come, so I had to leave. I mean, if the mountains won't come to Mohammed, Mohammed has to go to the mountains. I guess it's more about who is more in love. And I had 3 people I was in love with over there, because my wife, my son, my daughter. So I closed my ad agency, wrote my resignation to Megastar Limited, where I was general manager, house given to me, company car, driver, and all that. Left all that.
Left all that.
To go and start life all over again in England.
Wow.
Looking back, it was a big mistake.
Wow.
But you know, life is a meandering journey. You got to take the lessons with the blessings.
I mean, so if you could take yourself back into that moment, you would have done something different.
Yes, but I wouldn't have divorced my wife. That's the thing.
Okay.
And I have learned now, I'm older and wiser, this whole concept of marrying somebody and they living somewhere and you living somewhere, I guess you both can accept it if you both can accept all 4 people who are in the marriage.
4 people?
Nobody wants to accept that happens, but I think in most cases, that is what happens, because people want their beds warmed, people want some companionship, people want some friendship, and they're going to find it somehow, but nobody's going to own up to it.
Wow. Let's go back to your dad.
Yep.
I mean, could you share with us maybe some very particular phrase or adage that your dad, you know?
Hey, my dad!
or there are a lot.
Plenty. My dad would say, which means if you were close to me, I'd slap you in the face.
You must have been stubborn then. You must have been stubborn.
He would say that. I mean, he wasn't a violent person, but he would say these things because he knows that you don't want to be hit.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody had a routine. You know, we had a farm. Somebody had to dry the pito waste to get the smell of the pito out of it before we went to feed the pigs. If not, the pigs would get drunk. Somebody had to go and sell lotto in the kiosks. Somebody had to go to the hotel and help with the reception.
Yeah.
Sometimes help with housekeeping. Somebody had to go to the disco and polish the floors. Somebody had to help mom, you know, put the meat on the skewers for kebabs. Somebody had to help mom in the kitchen. Somebody had to wash the napkins and the serviettes that were used in the restaurant. Everybody had a routine, and everybody got pocket money. And you know you want your pocket money. So you got to do your routine. But if you don't do that routine too, you're in trouble. you're in trouble.
Wait, I think your dad seems to be a very interesting man. What is that one thing that you would want the world to know about your dad? That one thing that the world should definitely know about your dad.
That no matter what you do, don't get sick, don't get poor. Health is the greatest wealth. But after you have your health, make sure you are working, if possible, for yourself. If you're not capable of working for yourself, then find employment with somebody else or with government and work for them so you can keep your head above water, because poverty leads mankind into slavery.
Poverty leads mankind into slavery. I'll take that away with me. So we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get to know more about King KKD, the man, King KKD, the father. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I like to play with him. I like when he gets me what I want.
He's always buying these cool stuff for me.
He helps me with things, like a lot of things.
He's good at, well,
He's good at piloting. Anything. Talking.
he's good at
Fixing things. Look at this one.
Welcome back. We are still having a very interesting conversation with the King KKD, the Royal Blackness, King Freshest. We are still here. Yes, so we've gotten to know a bit about you, but would like to know, who is KKD as a father? What parenting style do you use with your children?
First and foremost, I think with me, it was all about ensuring that my kids have their self-esteem. For me, that's the most important thing, self-esteem. So from a very early age, I look for what they have done right and then compliment them. So I focus more on what they do right than what they do wrong. Because, self-esteem is something that you get at a very young age. And if you don't get it at a young age, I'm sorry, you might become president and still not have it. So I tell my friends who keep shouting at their kids, talking to them in a very harsh way all the time, you got to find a way to build the kid up. Because if they don't get it at home, charity begins at home. If you are talking to them like they are nobody and they accept they are nobody, they're going to go out into the world believing they are nobody. And when people believe they are nobody, they have nothing to lose. They can become criminals, they can become prostitutes, they will be destitute. Anything they do, they don't think much of themselves. So for me, the most important thing with my children was self-esteem. So whether it's Kweku Dakwa, Chei Dakwa, or Ahima Sokwa Chei Dakwa, it started with their name. So I didn't want to give them a name based on slavery. If I have a friend who's from, say, Holland, and I like him so much that I want to name my child after him, then maybe I can name my child Ruud Holit Chei Dakwa. But if that's not the case, I want to give my child a name from my culture, because then they know this is who I am. And there is something in a name. And then apart from that, look for stuff that they do that is right. If they pronounce a word correctly, I will talk about it all day long. The ones they get wrong, I will correct them, but I will remind them of what they got correct and tell them how brilliant they are. And because of that brilliance, it's going to be easy to get this one right too.
Wow.
Then after self-esteem, the other thing I always looked out for was honesty and kindness. That they will be honest in every situation and that they will be kind to people in every situation.
Wow.
So self-esteem, honesty, kindness. Because if you're kind, you'll be courteous. If you're honest, you'll be truthful. You will have integrity. No matter what people say, you will stand with your head high and you will stand for what's right.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm picking so many jewels from this conversation today. Would you say fatherhood has been a difficult journey? Or
No,
just
it's been very easy.
It's been easy.
I look at parents talking about parenting is difficult. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Have you gone to the forest to fell a tree? Parenting is easy, but there's a catch.
Good.
You have to love the children. If you love the children, it's easy. And if you understand that you are not perfect, their mother is not perfect, and so they too are not perfect because they come from a gene pool. It's a gene pool of father and mother. And this is a gene pool that has some perfections and imperfections. I have a problem. I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. In my office, all my staff know if there are 2 pens on the desk, they must be parallel. If you put water on my desk, it shouldn't leave a ring. If there are paintings hanging enough, the other day I was in a bank, the painting was slightly crooked, I went over and straightened it. And then the lady was looking at me quietly, she says, Papa, who OCD?
In the next 50 years, how would you want the world, Ghana, the world in general, to remember KKD?
I think people who worry about how they want the world to remember them are crazy. Because all what you have is this moment. Do the best you can in this moment. Understand that you two are dispensable. And if you do the right things, different people will remember you for different things. Now, if you do the right things, there will be people who will be jealous and envious of you for doing the right things. Because by doing the right things, you're either going to get a good name, you're going to get power, or you're going to get money. And if you're a man, this is something that other men hate for other men to have. Now, of the three, a good name, power, and money. Power is fleeting. Fame is vapor. And as for money, it can go anytime. But the one that my father says lasts the longest is a good name. So all men are trying to get a good name. And if you can get that good name, then hopefully you'll be remembered. How many years on, so many politicians in Ghana, so many politicians in all of Africa, and we still say Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How many years on, so many fashion designers around the world, and we still talk about Pierre Cardin and YSL. All you have is now. Do the best you can now. Be kind to people, be honest, and forget about how you want people to remember you.
And I think when it comes to a good name, I kind of believe that people have their different opinions regardless, and they would form whatever opinions they want about whoever.
Yes, because, you know, some people are good-willed and some people are ill-willed. And that comes with upbringing. You know, some people have had a very difficult upbringing. You know, some people never had a father who had them run to them, catch them, throw them in the air, hug them. So there's a void in their lives. And this void makes them angry and unhappy. And instead of finding a way to fix it, maybe seeing a shrink, they take it out on other people. So, you know, when we went to secondary school, if you are Dada B, people don't like you. Why don't you like me? Because I'm eating corned beef.
I'm sure you were Dada Ba back in school.
Me, I wasn't Dada Ba, but I had my corned beef, I had my pate daba, you know, I had everything. You know, I had my yogurt, I had my ice cream. That doesn't make me a Dada Ba. You know, the simple thing is, everybody needs to remember what my father said. That you got to work hard. Work for yourself if you can. If you can't work for yourself, go find somebody to work for or go work for the government. Because poverty leads to slavery. And once you end up a slave, the jealousy and envy is unbelievable because you're subjugated. Your spirit is shut down. You are nothing. You're trampled under the feet of other men. You eat the droppings from other people's tables. In fact, sometimes you even eat from the plates of their dogs. So if Papa no try, Pikin go suffer. And that is why some politicians have become thieves, because they think they have to try so hard to safeguard the future of their children. But if thievery is what you use to safeguard your children's future, I can promise you, these are the words of my father. And on Father's Day, I share this with you all. And with your permission, I want to speak directly to the people.
Please do.
May Papa say, and I'll say this in English when I'm done. May Papa say, sa wo de won sabo aban sika mu da wo fa ete se ne we wia bafan sika bafan ya ne efra bafan oni nan a odi tumrika otefa ko no sresre sika ne ni nso efra ntu wia ne sika na ohun wo fa sika na wo de bekọ But fine ho be kyere no. Na emom se sika no. Wo be kwa akopɛ ho mmɔho na daakye wo de asawa wo ho yare. And to translate, and so the translation is, my father says, stealing from the general public is like stealing the money of a blind and lame beggar who sits by the roadside begging for alms. When you steal his money, he cannot see. And even if he sees, he cannot run after you. You will take the money away, but you will use multiplications of that money over and over again to go and cure your own illness that is now about to befall you. So those who have access to what is for the public, please, we pay you enough. We give you enough perks. Help the needy, not the greedy.
Wow, that was a very deep one. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll go for the lifestyle arena where we teach you how to dress properly as a man. We'll be right back to continue this conversation with the King KKD.
We look at the art of dressing well as a man. Look after your appearance. You've invested in all these items, so you should take care of them. Here's what to do. Acquire some good hangers. Dry clean your clothes. And use the gentle cycle when using the washing machine to avoid tumble drying. Make sure you clean and polish your footwear regularly, and always press your shirts and pants where appropriate. Now make sure to brush your teeth and hair regularly. That is how you look smart and top-notch.
Welcome back. The conversation keeps getting more interesting with the King KKD. Would like to know, growing up, the kind of moments you used to share with your children, and now that they are all grown up, what are these moments that you used to share with them that you don't share anymore, and the ones that you miss the most?
Well, we had a rule. We had to go on a vacation every year. Okay. I think it's just a way of life in England.
You still do?
Yeah, we still do. Now it's difficult because they have their work, I have my work, but we still make time. That, I was talking to my son yesterday and he says, Dad, we need to do Tenerife. It's going to be the cheapest holiday we ever had, and let's just go to Tenerife, hang out for a day or two, taste the food, see the sights, buy the art, and come back home. But we took our holidays as seriously as nurses took viral infections. We planned for our holidays. We looked forward to our holidays. And then we had a rule too. We had to go for a meal in a 5-star space or a Michelin star restaurant at least once a week. There are only 52 weeks a year. Now, if I traveled outside of London and I wasn't there and I came back, my daughter will remind me that we missed this week and this week and this week, and we had to do that. And they got to choose the restaurants.
Well, I can tell you have a very rich experience growing up, your relationship with your father, your siblings, your way of thought about the world that we live in. What advice would you give to the 21st century father?
Be purposeful.
Purposeful.
Be purposeful. If you can, test all your children to ensure they are your children. Because there's too much nonsense going on. Women are getting away with murder. And when you find out they're your children, look after them. If you find out they're not your children and you still like them because you have invested some love into them already, look after them. But there is a reason why God granted man the wisdom to learn about the paternity test. Go test and know for certain. Trust but verify. Nobody should be living with somebody who is dishonest or disloyal. And if you have those children, guard them. Do the best you can for them. Bring them close to your heart with hoops of steel and pray that one day they will be greater than you. That's the duty of a father.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I have learned a lot. I hope we have all learned a lot from King KKD, the finest, the freshest, the royal blackness. Thank you so much for sharing your rich information, your knowledge, your experience, your insights on fatherhood with us. We really appreciate it.